Hi guys, welcome back to Reading Euphoria. My name's Georgia and today I am going to be going through my most anticipated releases from the months of April through to June. So I understand that we are already practically in the middle of May. So I know that this video is very delayed, but I sort of thought better late than never. So we're just going to roll with it. Some of these books are already out, but actually majority of them haven't come out yet, so it is still letting you know of some great books. So without further ado, because we have got 13 books to get through, let's just crack on with the video. So the first two books both came out on the 1st of April, and those two books are We Told Six Lies by Victoria Scott and You Owe Me a Murder by Eileen Cook. These books are both mystery thrillers, YA mysteries. I believe that this is a YA as well. Not entirely sure, but I know that they're both mystery thrillers and I am very excited for them. I'm not entirely sure of the plot for both of these two books because I do want to go into them with not really knowing that much of the plot, but these are very highly anticipated books of the year, and a lot of people have been raving about them, so I'm very excited to read them myself. Next is We Set the Dark on Fire by Taylor K. Mejia. This book came out on the 4th of April, and other than the fact that the cover is absolutely beautiful, I am very excited for this one. This book is based on the main character of Danny, I believe, and she's basically been brought up her whole life in this school, and she's then asked to then turn spy for a resistance group, and she's basically got to choose between whether that she thinks that is the right thing to do or not, and it's just a whole, I think that there's like a rebellion, so it's like an uprising. Obviously not entirely sure 100% on the plot, but a lot of people have been raving about this one, and it has been a lot of people's most anticipated videos. So when I read the plot, it just drew me in straight away, and I was really excited to get to it. And the second book that also came out on the 4th of April is To Best the Boys by Mary Webber. This book just sounds absolutely amazing. I think there's basically like a competition that only boys are allowed to enter, and then the main character, Ren, I believe, she dresses up as a boy and enters this competition to basically try and win, and then to prove that obviously boys are not better than girls, because they are not. So yes, like I said, this one did come out on the 4th of April. I'm yet to read both of these, or all four of these that have come out, but I'm very excited for when I do get to do them. Next is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. This book just came out on the 2nd of May, so I am very excited for this one. This hasn't obviously been on my shelves for a long time. I've only just got this through the post, so I'm very excited. I also did meet Holly Jackson at last year's Yauk. This was obviously way before that the book had to come out, obviously, because it was a year ago. But she was obviously promoting the book and in kind of like the final stages of writing it. So I'm very excited for this one. This one is also a mystery. If I just read you the bit on the front, there's just a little snippet up here. It says, a closed case, an A-grade student who won't let it go. So I believe that someone was murdered. There is a suspect in it. I think that everyone kind of thinks that they did it, but I am not 100% sure. Obviously, I think that it turns out that the guy, or the person they suspect to have done it, has actually done it, so then the real killer is actually still out there. So this one does sound really good. I'm not sure where the story is going to be going, but I sort of want that in my mysteries, because obviously if you know too much, it's just going to ruin the whole thing. So I'm very excited for this, and I'm very excited to read one of Holly Jackson's books, because I'm not sure if this is her debut novel, but if she's had anything out in the past, I haven't read it, and obviously if she is a brand new author, then I'm very excited to see where she is going to go. Next is Kingsbane by Claire Legrand. This is the second book to the Furyborn. I'm not sure really what the series is about, where it's going, and I haven't actually read Furyborn yet, but I do really want to get to it. I am very excited for it. So I need to get to the first book very soon so I can then read the second one, but I do have the second one on pre-order so I can get it then when it then does come out. So I am very excited for this series. I do believe that it's a fantasy. I am not really that much into my fantasy, but I am really trying to get into it, and because these books are so hyped up and everyone has loved Furyborn so much, and I'm sure that everyone will love Kingsbane, I do really want to explore the series. So that is why it is included in my most highly anticipated books of 2019, of April through to June. Next is Kissing Ezra Holtz and Other Things I Did for Science. This book is based on the main characters of Amelia and Ezra, and basically they get paired up in AP psychology project, and they then look into then whether that science can make people fall in love. So they basically set out on their own little project to try and see whether that science can actually bring the correct people together. And then I think that in this they then fall in love themselves, even though they have known each other their whole lives, and they're sort of the last people that, or the last person that they would think they would fall for. So I think that it then turns into them trying to find love for other people and trying to see whether science can match that, to then fall in love with themselves. So I am actually really excited for this one, and this book does in fact come out on the 23rd of May. Next is Dark Shores, and this I believe comes out on the 1st of June. This is a new fantasy book, and I have never read this author before, so I'm very excited to pick something of hers up. So I'm just going to read you a little bit just that I'm getting off of Amazon. So it says, in a world divided by meddlesome gods and treacherous oceans, only the Marin possess the knowledge to cross the endless seas, but they have one mandate: East must never meet West. So I think this is kind of like a battle between two places, and it does sound really good. It also says a pirate with a will of iron, a soldier with a secret. So I'm kind of getting a little bit like two main characters, and from the East and one from the West, and there'll be a fight or something like that. So sounds really exciting. Next is Like a Love Story by Abby Nazemian. Really sorry to that author, I really am bad with names. And this book also comes out, on the 4th of June. This book, as the title says, is a love story. It's based on 3 main characters, and it's basically their whole separate lives and then coming together. And I know that there's obviously a love story in there and things get a little bit complicated. So I think it's like that whole challenges of the fact that there's obviously a 3-way friendship. 2 people obviously falling in love. There's jealousy there. There's a whole load of backstory. So I am very excited for this one. I haven't really read a complicated love story in a while, so I feel like that this would be the perfect one for me. Next is Girls of July by Alex Flynn. This also comes out on the 4th of June. This book has been described as, it says, perfect for fans of the Sisterhood of the Travelling Pants and Enchanted April. I absolutely loved the Sisterhood of the Travelling Pants. Still to this day, it's one of my favourite movies, and I don't know if there's a book. Is there a book? I'm not 100% sure. I would just always watch the movie, but I absolutely love that story. And it's basically, it's sort of the same ideology as the Sisterhood of the Travelling Pants, obviously without the travelling pants, but with the fact that it is based on 4 girls, and they basically go away and they're all completely different personalities, which is exactly like what Sisterhood of the Travelling Pants are. The 4 main people in that film are completely different personalities, but their friendship works. And I think that they're basically living for a month in the mountains, and it's just a whole story about discovering who you are in that, and friendship. And I'm not 100% convinced of where the plot would go from this, but I am very intrigued to know what the author has done, what the whole story is with these 4 characters. So I'm very excited for this one. Next is The Grief Keeper by Alexandra Vilsante. This book comes out on the 11th of June, and I am very intrigued by this book. I believe this book is based on the main characters, and they're having to flee their own country. They're trying to get to America. They're then caught, and they're caught crossing the border, and they're basically branded as illegal. I'm not entirely 100% sure where this plot goes and what happens within this story, because of the grief keeper thing. She gets offered to do this job to be a grief keeper. I'm not entirely sure what that entails, but that is her one opportunity to be able to save herself and save her sister. This book, if I just read the little bit from Amazon, it says at the bottom, the grief Keeper is a tender tale that explores the heartbreak and consequences of when both love and human beings are branded illegal. So this book just sounds very, very good. It's obviously a very serious topic, but I have never read something to do with this crossing the whole theme and genre of crossing the border and that subject matter. So I'm very excited to deal with something that is actually, it is happening, and it happens obviously on a regular basis, people trying to do that, but I'm not very aware of that. So to read something in fiction will then definitely open my eyes to that subject. And I am aware as well that this author, this is her debut novel, so I'm very, very excited, and I'm wanting to kind of help her out as much as possible and give her as much backup as we can. So if you guys can go and do that, then that would be great, because I know that if I was releasing my first book, I would want as much support as I could. So very excited for this one to see where this story goes. Next is All Eyes on Us by Kit Frick. This book comes out on the 13th of June. This book is a mystery, and Karen McManus has recommended this, and she is one of my favourite authors of all time. I have loved both of her books, especially One of Us is Lying. That is literally a 5-star read for me, and one of my favourite books of all time. So for the fact that she has recommended this mystery book just says it all, and it means I have to pick it up. So this book is based on the two main characters, and they basically get texts to then bring this character called Carter down, which I believe is one of their partners. So they need to bring Carter down, which then means that then the two girls then become collateral damage, and then it then means that they then have to then become allies to then find their stalker, to then find out the root of what is going on and what is happening. So it does sound very, very dark, very mysterious. So I am very excited for this one. The fact, like I've said, the fact that Karen McManus has recommended it just means that I do have to read this, so I'm very excited for this read. So that is it for this video. I think that I said 13 books at the start, but I think that was 12. I'm not sure until I actually go back and count them when I go back to edit this video. But so that will be 12 books of my most highly anticipated reads of between April and June 2019. So I am very sorry again that this video was quite late, but I will leave all of the links for all of these books down below so that you guys can go and read the full plot, because I know that I am not the best person at giving plots and giving synopsis of books. So I just kind of like know what they're about myself, and I find it then hard to explain. So I will leave all of the links below so that you guys can go and directly go and view those books, and then hopefully they'll buy them, and they hopefully will become one of your most anticipated reads of this year as well. So I am very excited for all of these books, and I hope that you guys are too. But I will see you again in my next video very soon. Bye!